when Ash got destroyed by Pool in a 6v6 battle taking place in Lake Acuity in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl Galactic Battles. But before we get into the action, it's time for the backstory. So Ash and Pool have an intense rivalry stemming from the beginning of the series. Because of this, they got suggested they have a 6v6 battle in 10 days in Lake Acuity, and they both agree. 10 days pass. Ash and Cole pull up on Pool, and these two are staring at each other like it's on site. No hellos, no bonjours, no wagwans, straight on site. When we talk about rivalry, we talk about Naruto and Sasuke, Ronaldo and Messi, Mario and Sonic, because with this rivalry here was one for the ages. The battle starts. Ash sends out Weavile, Pool sends out Torterra, and Ash unexpectedly returns Weavile. And here I'm surprised, because he would usually be up for tight disadvantages, but for once he's making the right decision. So instead of Buizel, he brings out Gliscor.
Paul, remember Gliscor? You made it back when it was still a Gligar.
Ash gets Gliscor to use Sand Attack, but this man isn't worried one bit. Torterra uses Giga Drain, but Gliscor dodges. Gliscor uses X-Scissor, giving him damage, but firming it. Uses Frenzy Plant, but Gliscor flies up and uses Fire Fang. X-Scissor, Steel Wing, but as it lands, Torterra crunches him and follows it up with a Giga Drain. I'm sorry, but what did Pool feed his Torterra? Gliscor actually has a good attack stat, and it hit Torterra with a Fire Fang and X-Scissor, especially X-Scissor. He's used that twice, and competitively it's a good move. Can we test this Torterra for doping? And just as things can't get any worse, Gliscor uses Fire Fang, but it's still unfazed. But Gliscor's the one that's damaged after Crunch and Giga Drain. What the fuck? He returns Gliscor for Staraptor, the best bird Pokemon. Argue with your dog. Staraptor uses Brave Bird, but Torterra uses Stone Edge.
Stone Edge, what?
So what do you mean why it hits Staraptor, but Pool returns Torterra for Weavile, with it turning out Pool picked out Pokemon based on what he knew Ash was going to use. He gets Staraptor to use Quick Attack. I don't know why you'd even want to start with that move, but I digress. Pool gets Weavile to use Swords Dance. Then Staraptor uses Aerial Ace, but Weavile uses Blizzard. Then jumps on his back to use Metal Claw, sending it flying down, and with that boosted Metal Claw, it looked like it was all wraps, but he's unscathed. Pool gets Weavile to chase it, to Metal Claw him, but Staraptor pulls out the close combat to go band for band with it. A bird knowing close combat was the coolest thing to the 8-year-old me, playing Diamond and Pearl. Still the best regional bird. By the way, how is Weavile still not down from a fighting type attack? Like they just showed a comp of close combat for it to still be going about its day. But that don't matter anyway, because Staraptor finishes the job with Brave Bird. Now I'm here thinking, 1 down, 5 to go. Ash still has all of his mons, but it's way too early to celebrate because the battle ain't over. He returns Staraptor, and Pool brings out Electabuzz. In return, Ash brings out Grotle. He could have brought out Gliscor for this one, but it don't have any damaging ground type moves, so I digress. Grotle uses Energy Ball, but Electabuzz activates Light Screen, then switches out for Honchkrow. This guy is treating this like a Pokemon showdown battle, setting up all these light screens. Now, you'd think the way that Ash has been moving in this fight, he'd return Grotle because of the type advantage. Maybe bring out Pikachu because it's actually got a physical electric type move that would actually kill him and bypass this light screen. Or even Staraptor, he even won last time against it. Let's run it back. Nope, he sticks with Grotle. This is why he ain't won a league yet. Grotle uses Razor Leaf, but none of them hit Honchkrow. Then Honchkrow uses Night Slash, dealing damage but shaking it off. Energy Ball, but its damage is reduced by Light Screen. Pool is running this man down with Pep Guardiola tactics. This is crazy. Uses Haze, so Ash tells him to use Razor Leaf, but he gets smacked with Night Slash again. Seeing Grotle has taken damage, he uses Synthesis, but Pool smells this opportunity, tells Honchkrow to use Sky Attack, so Ash panics and tells him at the last second to use Rock Climb. What scaly mountains are you climbing to use this move? You had 10 days to prepare and you're still pulling up with Rock Climb. But Honchkrow lands his hit on Grotle, defeating it. Wow. That was an absolute disaster class, and this is Ash's fault for setting him up like this. What's worse is that he can't even learn any rock or electric type moves to compensate for this until it evolves. What were you thinking? Pool switches out to Honchkrow, and Ash brings out his level 100 Pikachu. See, with Pikachu, one day is level 100, the next day is level 5. Pool in return brings out Magmortar. Ash tells Pikachu to use Quick Attack, but as soon as it makes contact, it gets burned. Turning out, Magmortar has Flame Body early. Pikachu uses Thunderbolt, but is intercepted by Flamethrower. Uses Volt Tackle, but is slowed down and hits by the Rock Tomb, then gets hit with that burn damage. Magmortar uses Smog, then Ash pulls out a Thunderbolt counter shield to get rid of the smoke. This counter shield thing that I had going on in Diamond and Pearl was
incredible.
Even had Pool using it in the next fight, but we can't forget about the burn effect. Magmortar uses Flamethrower, but Pikachu jumps and uses Iron Tail on his head, knocking it back. Pikachu gets burned again, so Ash calls him back to send out Buizel again. Buizel uses Aqua Jet, Water Pulse. Buizel uses Aqua Jet, but this ugly looking thing is nowhere to be seen. Turning out, he's in the air to smog his high top, with Brock revealing that Rock Tomb was to stop Buizel from seeing what he was up to. Then Magmortar gets substituted for Ursaring. Buizel uses Water Gun for Ursaring to intercept him with Hammer Arm. Paul gets Ursaring to bulk up.
Ursaring just raises offense and defense. Nah, who cares?
Ash, you will listen when you are dead. You will listen when you are dead. I know he's a 10-year-old and all, since 1997. Somehow, we gotta check this guy's passport he's capping. And we've all made this mistake of ignoring stat boosting moves when we first played Pokemon as kids. But brother, you've been to 4 regions in 10 years. That's enough experience to notice the danger of these moves. Rookie mistake. Buizel uses Aqua Jet on him, landing, but it still managed to bitch slap Buizel with Slash. Uses Focus Blast, but Ash gets Buizel to use an Aqua Jet counter shield, deflecting back on Ursaring. Ursaring uses Hammer Arm, and Buizel uses Sonic Boom, but that wasn't enough to stop him in his tracks, as it flying clotheslines Buizel. I actually like Buizel. In fact, he's one of my favorite Pokemon, but he got done so dirty here, it's funny. Tries to use Aqua Jet, but it gets hit with a Focus Blast and dies. Ash brings out Staraptor to use Aerial Ace. Ursaring uses Hammer Arm, but it's swiftly weaved and lands its attack. That's my goal right there. Ursaring uses Focus Blast and hits Staraptor, but withstands it. Dives in to use close combat, but it gets hit first with Slash, finishing him off with Hammer Arm. As you can see, Ash is getting absolutely outsmarted. 5v3. Ash better than me. I would have run back to the PC to get Charizard to smoke his ass. All of that somehow don't work. I'll use Action Replay to get Arceus, who brings out Electabuzz. And seeing as these two have as much as a strong rivalry as Ash and Paul themselves, Ash brings out Chimchar, my very first and best starter of Sinnoh, dare I say of all time. Chimchar uses Flamethrower, but Electabuzz uses Protect, then Light Screen, then does another switcheroo to Torterra. I would hate to face Paul in Pokemon Showdown, because he's one of them niggas who always switch out Pokemon every f***ing turn.
Paul knows we have the advantage, but he's still using Torterra.
Chimchar uses Flame Wheel for Torterra to use Stone Edge. This is initially dodged, but it actually gets him to switch direction of the stones onto Chimchar. Flamethrower, but Light Screen attacks. He switches Chimchar for Gliscor. You see, Ash, now that's a good choice. With these moves in your arsenal, X-Scissor, Fire Fang, surely you can at least get another one back. I mean, all you gotta do is finish the job.
Really? That's what we've come to?
Gliscor, I was rooting for you. Pikachu tells Ash he wants to battle. Ash warns him about the type disadvantage, but in idiotic fashion, he battles. However, he gets lucky here as Paul switches out for Ursaring, gets Pikachu to Quick Attack, but gets hit with Hammer Arm just before Pikachu was about to use Iron Tail. Ursaring was about to use Focus Blast, but he's paralyzed. You may think he has it in the bag here, but you are not ready for what's about to happen in the next couple seconds. Because even though Pikachu lands Iron Tail on him, Ursaring has one special, scary ability, Guts, doubling his attack after a status condition. Yeah, I'm throwing in a towel after this one. With 2 Pokemon left, if this was Pokemon Showdown, I would have already forfeited and moved on to the next fight. I'm out here. Ursaring uses Hammer Arm, but Pikachu uses Thunderbolt, but he withstands it as he gold swings him into the lake. No, he really did him like Joe from The Last of Us. If you know, you know. Tiger Woods got game. Ash runs into the lake. Someone give this man a Snickers bar ASAP. At first, it seems like Pikachu was still standing, but we were all fooled when it started to fall. And now it's all down to Chimchar. Chimchar starts with a Flame Wheel and Ursaring Slash. Then Chimchar uses Flamethrower, hitting him, digs his way on the ground to hit Ursaring, whilst he was using Hammer Arm to finish it off with Flamethrower. That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT! He took down a Guts activated Ursaring whilst only being a Chimchar, albeit he took some damage beforehand, but still, it's a good feat. He hasn't even activated Blaze. Chimchar better than me because I would have done this on pool as tells Chimchar to keep going and make a 1v5 combat as if he's 3 down in the playoffs, but midway through this, he evolves into Monferno and immediately learns Mach Punch. Chimchar better than me, I would have used it straight on his face. Pool sends out Electabuzz. Monferno uses Mach Punch, proving to be effective on Electabuzz. Electabuzz uses Thunder, paralyzing it. This is coming at the wrong time because look how fast he was moving. Monferno uses Flame Wheel, but Electabuzz uses Protect. Uses Flamethrower from the sky, but it's dodged as Electabuzz uses Thunder Punch. It is weaved for Monferno to use Dig and it's applies Mach Punch. Monferno uses Flame Wheel and a Flamethrower to create a counter shield against Electabuzz's Thunder, eventually hitting it. Monferno uses Rock Punch, but it's blocked with Protect. Electabuzz uses Thunder, leaving it weakened. And just as he's about to use Flamethrower, Paralysis slows it down, but Monferno amps itself up. And these two do a Naruto and Sasuke-like clash of Mach Punch and Thunder Punch, colliding with each other. But unfortunately, the goal goes down after a hard-fought battle. We'll get it next time. Thanks for watching. Check out my latest video. Like, subscribe, and comment.